My mom secretly raised my sister's baby as her own, now I know why. I, 26F, always thought I had a little brother, Liam, now 10. He was mom's miracle baby, or at least, that's what we were told. Mom, 56F, who'd been told she was menopausal for years, suddenly announced she was pregnant at 45. It was shocking. But she framed it as a blessing, a once-in-a-lifetime surprise. We all rallied around her, amazed and happy for her. I was away at college during her pregnancy. She sent occasional bump pics and updates, but she never wanted to video chat. She always had an excuse: bloating, nausea, fatigue. She claimed it was a really difficult pregnancy. She gave birth early too, so everything happened quickly. No hospital visits. No baby shower. I didn't even meet Liam until he was several months old, when I finally visited home. At the time, I didn't question any of it. She looked tired, sure, but she was beaming. Everyone just accepted the miracle story and moved on. Liam was adorable and healthy, and that was what mattered. But things have gotten weird. I recently accepted a job back in my hometown and moved into the guest house on my parents' property. That means I'm around Liam a lot more now, mornings before school, weekends, dinners together. And I've started to notice things that I can't unsee. For one, he doesn't instinctively call Mom Mom. He calls her Carla more than anything, especially when he's tired, flustered, or upset. The first time I heard it, I laughed it off. But then I heard him call her Auntie Carla. Just, casually. Then freeze when he saw my face. She immediately jumped in, smiling too wide and changing the subject. Later that night, I overheard her whispering with him in the kitchen. She offered him ice cream, toys, anything to keep this our little secret. At first, I tried to tell myself it was just a phase. Maybe he was copying something he heard. Maybe he was confused about titles. But the more time I spend here, the more the cracks show. There are no baby pictures of her in the hospital. No ultrasounds pinned on the fridge like she did with me. The bump photos she sent during her pregnancy, I looked at them again recently. They all look a little off. One is cropped weirdly. Another has a shadow on her stomach that doesn't quite line up. A third one, she's wearing the same outfit as in the first, just shot from a different angle. And Liam doesn't look anything like her. Not like me, either. But I've seen old pictures of myself when I was younger, and side by side with Liam at the same age. There's a weird resemblance I can't explain. I brought up some of this casually with my mom last week. Her reaction was immediate, defensive, emotional. She got teary, talked about how hard it was to be an older mom, how people judged her, how she didn't need her own daughter piling on. I backed off, feeling guilty. But then, last night, I found something. I was looking for wrapping paper in the storage closet of the guest house and came across an old box of files labeled Carla, Legal. Inside was a sealed manila envelope marked with a date, about 10 years ago. I didn't open it. Yet. But now I can't stop thinking about it. Who is Liam really? Because more and more, I'm starting to wonder if he's not my brother at all. He might be my son. Once I moved back home, I saw more weirdness. One afternoon, while digging around in the attic looking for old picture frames, I found a dusty storage bin filled with baby clothes. Most were soft blues and greens, folded neatly. What caught my attention was that many of the onesies and blankets had the name Jaden stitched into the tags, not store tags, but carefully embroidered, like someone had prepared them lovingly in advance. Jaden? Liam's real name is, well, Liam. That's what we've always called him. I'd never even heard the name Jaden mentioned in the family. When I asked Mom about it over dinner, she paused, just a beat too long. Then she laughed nervously and said, "Oh, that. Yeah, Liam went through a nickname phase when he was a baby. He'd respond to all kinds of names. Jaden, Aiden, whatever. It was cute. I didn't buy it. Babies don't go through nickname phases. Parents do." Things only got stranger from there. Last weekend, I was helping clear out the garage. Mom claimed she wanted to finally donate all the old Christmas decor we never used. Most of the boxes were full of tinsel and tangled lights, but one box was suspiciously heavy for a wreath. Taped shut. Marked in fading Sharpie, Christmas decor, fragile. Inside, beneath layers of fake snow and a broken ornament, was an old iPhone. I don't know what made me charge it up, curiosity, instinct, something else. But I did. It was still functional, surprisingly. And what I found on it. The phone was filled with text messages. Mostly between Mom and my estranged sister, Kelsey, 34F. Here's the thing, Kelsey and I haven't spoken in over a decade. She was the rebellious one. The girl who ran off with older guys, stole from our parents, disappeared for long stretches. I was the good daughter. I stayed behind, helped with the dishes, made it to college. When I left for school, Mom told me not to worry if we didn't hear from Kelsey. She's gone off the grid again, she said. You know how she is. But the texts told another story. They weren't just casual check-ins. They were frequent. Emotional. And they all circled around a single topic. The baby. There were messages like, the nausea's worse this week. I can't even keep crackers down. I can't believe he kicked. Is that normal this early? I'm scared, Mom. What if I mess him up? And then, 2 weeks before Liam's supposed birth date, there it was. A single message from Kelsey. I can't raise him. You do it. He deserves a better life. It hit me like a gut punch. Suddenly, so many things made sense. The missing hospital records. The fake bump photos. The secrecy. The fact that no one ever visited her during the birth. And most of all, Liam. Or Jaden? He's not my brother. He's Kelsey's son. And now, I'm starting to think he might be mine too. Because Kelsey wasn't gone the year Liam was born. She was living nearby. I found a message with a shipping address just 3 towns over. And the timeline? It matches up uncomfortably well with a week during my freshman year when I visited home, only I don't remember much from that visit. I've always had a gap in my memory after a flu that put me in bed for days. Mom nursed me back to health. I never questioned it. Now, I have to ask myself a terrifying question. Did something happen to me that year that I never knew about? Because if Liam isn't my brother, and he isn't Mom's son, then whose child is he really? I couldn't take it anymore. One night after Liam went to bed, I cornered Mom in the kitchen. She was rinsing out a mug, humming some soft tune like it was just another peaceful evening. I couldn't hold it in. I told her I knew. I said the words slowly, carefully, Liam isn't your son. He's Kelsey's. She froze. The color drained from her face. She dropped the mug, and it shattered on the tile. For a second, I thought she might try to lie again, twist it, manipulate it. But I showed her the texts. The message from Kelsey. The baby clothes labeled Jaden. The old phone. Her face crumpled. She collapsed into one of the kitchen chairs and just started sobbing. She confessed everything. Kelsey had gotten pregnant during one of her disappearances, a one-night stand, maybe more, no one knew. She didn't want the baby. She was scared, unstable, and homeless, couch-surfing with no job. She told Mom she was going to give the baby up for adoption, maybe even abandon him entirely. Mom couldn't bear it. He was family, she said. I couldn't let him vanish into the system. I had to do something. So she made a choice. A lie big enough to swallow a decade. She faked an entire pregnancy. Used Photoshop to edit bump pictures. Bought maternity clothes and padded them under loose sweaters. She even had a pregnancy pillow she wore to family dinners when someone came to visit. She avoided in-person interactions, always had a reason to keep people at arm's length. Only she and Kelsey knew. No one else. Not my dad. Not our neighbors. Not even me. I was stunned. Shaking. Why didn't you tell me? I asked her. She looked up at me with red-rimmed eyes and said, because you would have tried to find Kelsey. You would have tried to fix everything. And by then, it was too late. You were the golden child. You had your whole life ahead of you. I didn't want to ruin that. Then she said it. He thinks I'm his mom. I am his mom, emotionally, spiritually. I've kissed every scrape, read every bedtime story, sat through every fever. Blood isn't what makes a mother. I didn't respond. I just walked away. I couldn't sleep for days. My stomach felt like it had been turned inside out. I couldn't look at Liam without seeing everything differently, the way he watches mom for approval like a loyal student, the way he avoids calling her mom when he's emotional. The way he looks at me, like I'm a stranger and yet somehow, familiar. And then, I made a decision. Tracking down Kelsey wasn't easy. She'd changed her last name, moved 3 hours away, and her social media was locked down. But I managed to find a blurry tagged photo on someone else's profile, a fundraiser post, of all things. I followed the breadcrumbs until I landed on her new Facebook profile. She was using her middle name as a surname now, living in a mid-sized city with a job at a bookstore. I sent her a message. Kelsey. It's me. We need to talk. It's about Liam. She left it on read. No reply. I tried again. Nothing. So I drove there. I staked out the address for hours in my car, heart pounding every time the door opened. Eventually, I saw her, same eyes, same restless posture, like she was ready to bolt at any moment. I got out of the car and approached. When she saw me, she froze. Then turned and tried to walk away. Kelsey, I said, I know about Liam. He's your son. She stopped. Shoulders stiff. And then she crumbled, right there on the sidewalk, under a dying streetlight and the hum of passing traffic. She cried like she'd been holding it in for a decade. I stood there, unsure whether to comfort her or yell at her for vanishing. Then she started talking. She told me everything. Yes, she was Liam's biological mother. Yes, she gave him up. But according to her, it wasn't as voluntary as mom made it sound. She said she was clean at the time, had just completed a rehab program, was looking into transitional housing. She was scared but determined to try. When she told mom she was keeping the baby, mom flipped. Mom didn't offer to help. She cornered me, Kelsey said. She told me that if I tried to raise him, she'd call CPS and report me. Said she had records, photos, old messages, that I'd never get custody. That the baby would go to foster care if I didn't sign him over to her. I was weak. I gave in. Kelsey said the adoption was arranged quietly, backdoor, maybe not even fully legal. Once the paperwork was done, mom ghosted her. No calls. No updates. No visits. She didn't just take my baby, Kelsey whispered. She erased me. She said she watches Liam grow up through filtered family Facebook posts. Birthday cakes. First day of school. Smiles curated for a story she's no longer allowed to be part of. I feel like a ghost, she said. I died the day I signed those papers. I was floored. What mom had told me was framed as love. A rescue. A noble lie. But hearing it from Kelsey, it sounded like coercion. A power grab. Emotional blackmail dressed up as maternal instinct. And the worst part? I could see both sides. I remembered how broken Kelsey was back then. How desperate mom was to keep the family from falling apart. But none of that justified what happened. Now I was holding two truths at once. Mom saved Liam. Mom destroyed Kelsey to do it. And Liam, Jaden, is growing up in a life built on a lie. I drove home in silence, hands trembling the whole way. I didn't know what to do next. But I knew one thing. The secret's days are numbered. I did it. I sat Liam down one afternoon after school, just the two of us on the porch swing outside the guest house. I didn't launch into it all at once. I took my time. I told him gently, carefully, that there was something important he needed to know, something that had been kept from him. I said that Carla, the woman he's always called Mom, is actually his grandmother. I told him his real mom's name is Kelsey. I said she was young, scared, and made a hard choice, but she never stopped caring about him. That she asked me to tell him the truth when the time was right. He sat there silently for a long time. Legs swinging. Head down. Then he said, almost to himself, I always wondered why I don't look like her. Or you. And then he cried. He didn't throw a tantrum. He didn't shout. He just let it fall out of him, quiet tears for something he couldn't quite name. And when he looked up, his eyes were older than they should have been. He asked to meet her. I promised I'd make it happen. Mom lost it. When she found out, the walls shook. She screamed like I'd betrayed her. She said I had ruined everything, that I was selfish, that I didn't understand what it meant to be a mother. She said I had no right. I said the only thing I could. You never had the right to lie to him in the first place. Because love is not ownership. And motherhood, real motherhood, doesn't need to hide behind a lie. I told her secrets always explode. And now they had. The fallout was nuclear. Mom won't speak to me. Holidays are a mess of missed calls and passive-aggressive silence. She claims I poisoned Liam, even though all I did was give him the truth she never trusted him with. Liam is in therapy now. He's processing it the best a 10-year-old can. He spends weekends with Kelsey. The first visit was awkward, like two planets orbiting each other, unsure of the gravity between them. But he asked questions. She answered. He showed her his drawings. She cried when he hugged her goodbye. They're building something now. Slowly. Carefully. It's not perfect. Nothing is. But it's real. And me? I feel guilty sometimes. For breaking what little peace we had. For lighting the match. But I also feel something else, something quieter, sturdier. Relief. Because now Liam gets to decide for himself what kind of family he wants. No more shadows. No more lies. Just truth, messy, painful, beautiful truth. And maybe that's enough to start again.